Hi, I'm Brian Heidelberger, and in this mini advertising law lesson, we find out why this logo of the famous Michael Jordan JumpMan did not infringe this photo. You're all aware of this famous JumpMan logo. You might not be aware of this original photograph which Nike commissioned and could have been the inspiration for the original JumpMan logo. The photographer sued for copyright infringement, and the court recently held no infringement. Now, to understand why the court held no infringement, we need to look back at the standard, which is substantial similarity. But the court said in the case of a photograph, the standard is that it needs to be virtually identical. And the court said that if the idea underpinning the photograph can only be expressed in a few ways, the copyright work is going to receive very thin protection. So the court in this case looked at what is the idea underlying the original photograph, and it was Michael Jordan in a gravity-defying dunk in a pose inspired by a ballet dancer's grand jeté. So then the court looked at the photograph to see if it was more than just that original idea that was in the JumpMan logo. But first, it had to filter out those unprotectable elements, like the basketball, the man jumping, the clothing. All of those things were not owned by the photographer. Then the court looked at whether or not the selection and the arrangement was original of the photographer, and the court held that Michael Jordan jumping towards a basket in the vicinity of a basketball hoop didn't take much from the photographer in terms of originality. They ultimately looked and decided that the only similarity between the original JumpMan photo and the JumpMan logo is nothing more than an expression of that original idea of Michael Jordan jumping towards the basket in a grand jeté pose. And because there were differences, albeit somewhat minor if you look at it, were enough to withstand a copyright infringement claim. So that's why the court held no infringement. I hope you'd enjoyed this, and until next time, let's be careful out there.